What is up, you amazing people? It is Nima here, and welcome to the first episode of What the Hell's That? And no, it's not about that weird rash I have. Oh, it's actually a show where I pick a couple games, typically like indie shovelware type games, off the eShop and just see if they're any good. By the way, the name for this, What the Hell is That, is just the best I could come up with. If you have some better idea, please leave it in the comment section below to help me out. Anyway, the first game I want to talk about is a game called Music Drive, Chase the Beat. Now, this game claims inspirations from classic arcade drivers, where there's a little bit of action, a lot of driving, and your main two goals in this game is either to rescue some music hard drives or to deliver some music hard drives. They all pretty much play the exact same, so it doesn't really matter what you do, because either way, you're driving. You do have a buddy who's sitting next to you who shoots enemies, or will kind of defend you, I guess, by shooting enemies, but it's all automatic. You don't do anything with that. I also want to mention that this game did say there was some sort of rhythmic aspect that was mixed into the gameplay, but I have no idea what they're talking about, because I never found it, and I played enough that I'm actually on the leaderboards in this game. You might think, like, oh wow, that means you must have really liked it. No, there's just not that many people on the leaderboards, and if I'm being honest, no, I didn't like it. But there's a few other selling points to this game, like you can put your own music in the background, like as a soundtrack. I have no idea how you do that, like on a Switch, but apparently you can. Well, I mean, you can't. There's no way to do that on a Switch, I don't think. I really have no idea. If there's some sort of way, let me know, but that's what the game claims, and it is on multiple platforms, so maybe there's a way to do it on your computer or something. I don't know. But I also don't have any idea what happened to the visual presentation. Looking at a trailer and even some screenshots, I'll try to actually get them up on the video so you can see. I don't know if they changed them on the eShop, but at least when I got it, it made the game look decent. Not great. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything amazing, but something that wasn't completely ugh. The way that this game looks is just bad. I mean, not even like, oh, it's kind of pixelated like classic games. No, it looks just awful. And honestly, you can't even say, well, maybe it looks better on other platforms, because I'm playing it on the Switch too. Blaming the hardware for your indie game not running well or looking very good, that's just not a possibility anymore. The Switch 2 can run Cyberpunk, okay? So I don't want to hear, well, it looks better on PC or whatever. No, okay? Like, it should run just fine. I think even the regular Switch should be able to handle this game with very little problem. It's just god-awful, but what's even worse than just the way it looks is the actual gameplay is so boring and repetitive. It's the same thing over and over and over, and like I said, it doesn't really matter if you're trying to rescue a tape or if you're trying to deliver a tape. It's the exact same gameplay, and it's the exact same environment. You see, to change anything up, you have to purchase it, which is fine, right? Except for on each mission that you accomplish, you get like $2,000 to $3,000. Well, just to get like the first car you unlock is $15,000. And you can't move on from that. You have to keep replaying that first mission over and over and over until you just unlock more stuff that I guess changes the way the game looks. Ultimately, you're doing that first mission over and over and over again, you know, up to 10 times just to unlock enough money so you can get a car. I even got like a weapon upgrade. I got a AK-47 ripoff or whatever, and it sucked worse than the gun I started with, which was a handgun. I mean, maybe it's the guy who's shooting, I don't know, but it didn't do as much damage and I was getting tore up earlier, so I actually had to switch back to the original gun I started with, and that did better. Oh, and by the way, while you're being bored to death playing the same mission over and over, they actually increased the difficulty of the mission, so really, it's not like, oh, they made more enemies or they're faster or something. No, they just take away your armor, is basically how it works. And so now you're just enraged because you're getting killed by the same enemies a lot quicker. And the game is $9.99, which I thought, honestly, it would be halfway decent at that price, right? Or it should be. Nope, it is a waste of money, a waste of time. I definitely recommend not picking this one up. Alright, so the last game that I picked up is a game called Dead of Darkness. Now this is a 2D old school survivor horror type game. Like if you're really into Resident Evil 1, but like done in pixel art, you're probably going to enjoy this game. This is very reminiscent, in fact, of Resident Evil 1, but you play as Miles Windham, an alcoholic private detective that has really been going down a spiral after his wife and daughter mysteriously died. He receives a note from the head of a psychiatric facility on a place called Velvet Island. In the note, this individual says they have some information about his wife and daughter and what happened 9 years prior. So without any other leads, Miles decides to go. And as you're headed there on a ferry, you actually meet someone else who's headed to the island, a nurse by the name of Olivia. It's her first day working at the facility, and if you're a fan of these type of games, I'm sure you guessed it, yes, Olivia is your partner. She's the other controllable character in the game, and it's not long after you land on the island that you're greeted in a very unwelcome manner, as it seems like they didn't want either one of you there. Oh, don't get me wrong, there's a few people who are okay with your presence, but for the most part, very cold reception. But none of that really matters because during your first night stay, a tragic event happens, which pulls Miles out of his bed and face to face with what appears to be zombies. With only one other reliable partner, you recruit Olivia to help you rescue whoever is still available and try to get the hell off this island. And I really did skimp on the story as much as I could. I don't want to ruin it for you guys because it's really not the typical survival horror type game where, oh, they were doing experiments and something bad happened and oh no. It definitely goes deeper than that, and actually some really great twists to it. I think the story and the writing and the voice acting is actually all done really well. And if you love those old school horror games, you're gonna feel right at home with this one. Even the controls feel familiar. It also has the same inventory system where you're kind of worried about overfilling anything. You can only carry so much. Ammo is limited. You end up relying a lot on a knife that also degrades over time. Many of the puzzles and things of that nature kind of work the same. I don't mean like they rip off Resident Evil in any way, I just mean like that is a huge component to the game, and if you understand the mechanics of like Resident Evil 1 or those old school survival horror games, you'll understand it. You won't be over your head. I also have to say the pixel art is really good, especially a lot of the bosses. Now some of the zombies and underlings can sometimes look like a little blurry or a little funny, and same with the main characters. They do use like a high def version of the characters, but at some angles and sometimes they just kind of look funny. I don't know, it's hard to explain unless you check it out. But my only other issue with the game that I think is a me problem and that most people would probably disagree with is how long it is. So this is like a 9 to 10 hour long game, which is quite a while for a survival horror style game. Couple that with the fact that this game is really difficult. It is not an easy game. There were times where I actually had to change the difficulty to easy to get through it. And yeah, I know I'm not a great gamer, but still, like, it just gives you an idea of how difficult this game can be. There are also multiple endings, so there is a quote-unquote good ending. There's a lot to this game, and I do think it's reasonably priced, not only because of all the content and how long the game is and it's replayable, but also of so few people who actually worked on this. It's incredibly impressive, and so for me, I would advise picking this one up. It's like they say, if you want there to be more games like a game you're interested in, then you need to buy them. So if you're into old school survival horror type games, then you should definitely check this one out. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this one. Let me know what your thoughts are on these two games. If you've heard of them or you thought about picking them up. If you have any suggestions for episode 2 where I find more junk that's on the eShop. Hey, sometimes we find some good games, a lot of times we don't. Also, let me know if you have any good ideas for a title of this show. Like, what should I call it? What the hell is that? Is probably not a great title. Something that you could also follow with Is It Infected? Probably not a great title for a show. Also, please like, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I love each and every one of you guys. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.